Hi, I'm LeJeune with Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We have a great lineup tonight. Lionel Hayes will be our first guest. Played quarterback at Istrouma. That's right, Istrouma. The Indians are back, man. They brought football back. He also is a quarterback at Southern University and Grambling College. And we also have the head coaches from Brusly and Iberville and two great recruits from Zachary, Chris Hilton, and Keilon Brown, the quarterback and the receiver. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
LeJeune, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Before we get to Lionel Hayes, I want to promote Superior Grill, a big sponsor of our show since 23 years now. Support Bob Kershaw and his staff. They're in Shreveport. They're on Government Street. They're on Highland Road now. They're in New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue. It's great family, great food. Superior Grill, Mexican dining, a great place to go. I want to go ahead and introduce one of our first guests of the Tonight Show. You know, back when I was coming up and playing football, I got out of school in '89. Just to show you my age, before the 90s, and before a lot of our guests were even born. And we experienced that because Lionel Hayes, me, and a few of the parents and coaches were talking about players that came out in the 80s. These young guys, they don't even know a lot of these young guys coming up like Steve McNair and some of these other guys. But Lionel Hayes, man, back in the day, I want to thank you for being on the show. You were a Istrouma quarterback back in the day, one of the better quarterbacks in the state.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being a part of our show today.
Happy to be here.
I ran into you at a football game 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And you were at the fence, and you said, hey, man, come over here. I want to talk to you. He said, you got that TV show? I said, yeah. He said, man, where'd you play? You said, Istrouma. I said, Lionel Hayes, quarterback.
Yes.
I said, didn't you sign with Southern? And you said, yeah, I signed with Southern University. But you finished at Grambling.
Yes, sir.
What an experience, huh, man?
Yeah. I'm the only quarterback to ever play for Southern and Grambling.
Two Bayou classes, two teams?
Two Bayou classes, two teams. Threw a touchdown for Southern and Grambling, so I'm the only person in the world who can say that.
So both fan bases should love you equally.
I don't think so. I know I get a lot of flack down here in Baton Rouge about, you know, leaving and going to Grambling, but.
Well, you played for two great coaches, Pete Richardson at Southern and and then Doug Williams.
Yes, legend.
Doug's first year at Grambling.
Yep.
We've got some highlights I want to show back in your high school days, back in the day. 6'3", 220. This is back in the early mid-'90s. Look at Istrouma, man. Look at this.
Man, that brings back some memories.
This is Lionel Hayes. Look at that arm, man. At 220, 6'3". This is what, 95, 94?
94, 95.
Lefty. Bam. You could sling it, man.
Yeah.
You came out the same year Josh Booty came out, Peyton Manning. That was a quarterback class.
Quarterback class.
Looks like y'all playing McKinley here.
Yeah, looks like it. That might be Central.
Central, where your kid played, your son played, Hayes, Jared Hayes.
John Foreman.
John Foreman was a great player.
Yeah.
Man, you came up and during the high school days, it's hard to say this, but in the mid-'90s, throwing the ball was not the thing.
Yeah, it was a lot of ground and pound back in the days.
Capital, against Capital here.
Yeah. But we slung it around a good bit at Istrouma. Man,
brings back some memories.
Bring back some memories.
And then we have some highlights in college. Let's show off. I think it's from the Bayou Classic here. Look at this. Grambling against Southern. This is you at quarterback, Grambling. Scotty Anderson from Jonesboro Hodge. We were talking about him earlier.
Good receiver.
Man, how far could you throw the ball, Lionel?
Back in my day, about 65 yards, maybe.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
This is in the Superdome. Bayou. Ooh.
Levi Washington.
Big time player.
Big time player.
Y'all had a lot of tall receivers back in the day at Grambling.
Yep. We had a lot of tall receivers. Randy Himes went on to play for the Ravens for a while. He was about 6'4", 210.
How juiced were you for this game? Pumped up, like pumped up, fired up. It's the game.
Yeah, I just wanted to try to do good, for the community. Really didn't want to get on TV and not play good.
Well.
Yeah.
But this is a big deal for the conference.
Oh yeah, it is. That game was to see who go to the SWAC championship, so it meant something back then.
Well, we wanted to. One more throw here. This is look at the touch, man. Over the shoulder.
Yeah, that's Randy Himes. I was telling you about.
6'3", about 220.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, man. See, the young kids today need to remember the guys that started passing in the 90s that started this.
It's like dinosaurs now.
Right. But look, you have a company now. You have a roofing company locally.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody about your roofing company.
I have a roofing company called Reliable Roofing. Been in business about 13 years. Doing good.
Doing good, man. And you've got a daughter at Dunham, a volleyball player. Tell everybody about your daughter.
I got a daughter at Dunham, Jada Hayes. She's in the 9th grade. Man, Dunham's going to be good for the next 4 or 5 years.
Tall. Your daughter's tall.
Got a few 8th graders on the team, 9th graders. Rohan Davey has a daughter that play. She's in the 9th grade also, so Dunham is going to be well stacked for the next 4 years.
Talk about your son that did pretty good at Central. You had a son that did well. It was in our magazine too.
Yeah.
But talk about your son that played at Central High School.
He played quarterback at Central High School. He played only his senior year because he transferred from McKinley, but had a good year, good run that year. I think they went to the 3rd or 4th round in the playoffs.
Lionel, who was your favorite quarterback growing up?
Steve McNair.
Why Steve?
Man, he made me believe that I can. That was one reason why I went to the SWAC, because of McNair. I had a lot of big colleges recruit me, but going to Southern and Alcorn game, I love that atmosphere, and that was one reason why I chose to go to Southern.
It's tragic. He died way too young, man.
Yeah.
Titans. If you're too young to remember, Steve McNair was one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks. Tennessee Titans. He was about, I think he was like 65-8 as a starter.
Yeah.
Big guy, 6'3", 225, could run, could do it all. Donovan McNabb and him were very similar builds, and the Titans were so close so many years with him at quarterback. Joe Montana, you said you like Joe Montana too.
Joe Montana was probably my favorite pro quarterback. I got a chance to meet him in California. My son was at a quarterback camp, and had a lot of legends at that camp. Joe Montana, Wayne Gretzky had a son there. Jim Brown was there. It was a good experience.
We ran into Joe Montana Super Bowl week. They were in the Super Bowl out on the town. I met him out the 2 nights before the game.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Nice guy. Look, thanks for joining us, Lionel. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And one more last thing, Istrouma's coming back. What do you think of Istrouma being back?
I'm happy we're back. I think Istrouma don't get a lot of credit that should have had a lot of good athletes come through Istrouma.
It's been a long time, man,
Yeah.
several years. It's good to see that they're back with a new school, new coach, and they got over 65 kids in their program, brand new school, 65 kids. You got a chance. Thank you, Lionel.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more. We've got our Zachary recruits later in the show, and also coming up next, we've got our head coaches from Brusly High School in East Iberville. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gaylord. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gaylord. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen. I hope y'all enjoyed Lionel Hayes, former quarterback and successful businessman in Baton Rouge, Grambling, Southern, and Istrouma. Man, it's good to have Istrouma back, the legend of Billy Cannon and little Big Fuzzy Brown, the coaches, the legendary places there. And I want to go ahead and introduce our guests, two really, really good coaches that do a great job at their high schools at East Iberville. Ron LeJeune. Ron, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And to your left, you know this man now at Brusly High School. You're from Plaquemine.
From Plaquemine,
which is a nickel throw from Brusly, right?
Spit on it, yeah.
Hoff, schooler, thank you for being a part of our show today.
Thanks for having me.
But you're a Ruston native that finished his high school career in Florida, in the Tampa area. What a great career already at Brusly. I mean, doing a good job there. I want to get into some talking. Before we get in interviewing both coaches, I want to go ahead and my condolences to a coach that Ron lost this year, an assistant, a great friend, a coach that had been in your life a long time, not so much on the same staff,
right, but
someone really close to you and someone that just passed away. We've got a tribute to show. Coach Gary, talk about Coach Burnett.
He was an awesome coach, awesome guy. Been knowing him about 18 years, and I coached against him for most of those 18 years. And I mean, he knew what play I was going to run before I knew what I was going to run. And I always wanted to coach with him. And the guy's got 5 state championship rings, and you'd never know it because he never bragged about anything. He was so humble. He's done so much for the program at East Iberville.
Gary Burnett, I met him over the years, and I was one of those guys that would go to the Thursday games. You know, and a lot of people don't go to Thursday games unless your parents, And you had coached at Terra, but I remember at Terra a few years ago, back in '98, I was out there at 5 o'clock, and Gary shows up. You know how the coaches get off the buses. You get your guys set up. Your guys are getting in the end zone. You go on to put your pads on, and Gary's sitting down, and I'm like, "You all right, Coach?" He's like, "I love this game."
Yeah.
I said, and you could tell he was back in '98. He was out there regardless of how he felt.
Right.
He was out there in the conditions. It must have been 100 degrees that day.
Well, he fought health problems since the late 90s. He actually dropped dead on Tara's practice field in either 98 or 99, and they had to revive him, and they put a pacemaker in him then. So he lived for over 20 years with a pacemaker.
And I think do we have a video for Gary? I think a tribute video. Let's go ahead and show that. We'll get that up in a second. Here we go.
Why do we do what we do? Why do we pursue a dream or state our intentions? Why do we value a prize as we do? Why are these moments celebrated? We do it for each other. We pursue this dream for our program. We state our intentions to affirm with one another that we are in this together. We value the prize because so few can achieve it. We celebrate the moment because of the months and years reaching it. This team, for each other, for past teams, for the present, and for the future. We do it for our families. We do it for pride. We do it for tradition.
That was great video. I mean, Coach, one of your players did this.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? One of your kids did this for Coach Gary.
Yeah, we got a little guy that goes to MSA Future. His name is Future Ford.
Future Ford.
Different name.
There you go.
But he's one of our kids, and he did that video. And kids are really playing hard on defense. We've only given up 6 points. We're averaging giving up 6 points a game, first 3 games.
Ron, when you took over the job, I've been at it now 26 years watching football, and I go to all teams' games. I go to, if you're 0-10 or 10-0, I go to watch teams play. But I remember going to East Iberville games back in the 90s, 2000s early.
It's pretty bad.
It was rough. Some seasons, no wins, no playoffs. 2 years in a row, you've taken your program to the playoffs. You've won a playoff game. You've had to play some tough ones, Delhi twice in a row. But tell everybody what it's the justification and all the hard work, how you feel as a coach, considering where you took this program from the beginning.
Well, I definitely, Coach Burnett was a big part of it, and the other coaches that we have right now. But we started at ground zero. We had 6 kids that played football the year before. And 6 that played at all out of about 40 kids. And, you know, it's gotten better, and we've been playing with the same kids for the last couple of years, and they're getting bigger and stronger, and hard work is paying off, but it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy.
But you got the same guys in the system now 3 years.
Yeah.
And you still got them as juniors. You got some young guys coming up.
Our biggest class is a junior class. We have 17 juniors. We only have 6 seniors
Not bad.
this year. So,
considering
the
you only
junior
had 3 or
class.
4 when you
Yeah.
started out.
Yeah, like I said, 6 guys played.
Right.
And they didn't know much.
And you came from Plaquemine High School where y'all had a ton of players and a lot of guys signed D1 ball.
To show you how bad it was, our center was and quarterback when we first got there. They told me they went play Logansport with 12 guys in a playoff game. 12 guys.
That's special
they went
teams
to
too.
Logansport.
That's special teams too.
And it wasn't pretty.
We're going to take a break. We're going to have more. We're going to talk to Coach Schooler with Brusly. We're going to talk about his program and talk about Ron's career. He's been all over. He's got a lot of experience. Some of his guys he's coached are playing college ball right now. We'll be back in just a moment.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer? Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak, and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Welcome back, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. Actually, Keilon Brown, who'll be on later, Chris Hilton will be probably on the cover next year. He's only a junior. But our preview magazine, if you can't find it, you can go to our website and get it. For North Louisiana and South Louisiana, that's lafootballmagazine.com. And want to go back to Brusly High School, and a great job that our head coach has done. Hoff Schooler is really from Shreveport and grew up in the Benton area.
Yes.
They get this show, Coach, so anything to say to your Benton natives, a community that's growing in baseball and football right now?
Yeah, really growing in that community, the whole North Bossier area, but been a long time since we were back in Benton. Back when I was there, what is the high school? Everything was in what is the high school, 6th grade through 12th grade, so really they've grown out in that area.
Isn't it amazing how big Parkway's become?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like its own city.
Yeah, I can remember the South Bossier area being, just a couple of neighborhoods down there, and then now it's blown up and, having to build a new bridge and all kinds of stuff on that end of town. So really, I got a beautiful school out there too, a new school they built.
Heck, the football from there, and when you go toward Ruston, Menden's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you got Houghton in the area is pretty good. Dak Prescott went to Houghton. He's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. And then you have a quarterback that's built like a Dak Prescott. You got a 230-pound, 6'2" quarterback. Talk about your senior quarterback.
Yeah, Nick Pinell. When I got here, going into Nick's sophomore year, he wasn't playing football. He was just playing basketball. And got him out there. He shows up first day of fall camp and won the starting job by the time we got to the Jamboree, and has been there ever since. A big kid, a tough kid, a competitive kid. He's athletic. You say 6'2", 230, but you can be athletic at that size too.
Yeah.
And really, he does a great job for us. He's the only senior we have right now on offense is Nick, and he does a good job getting everybody lined up where they're supposed to be and keeping us moving down the field.
And Coach, watching him in a game, he moves really well for a big guy.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he's not a stiff 230.
Yeah,
you know, he's your guy that can run up and down the basketball court.
Who wants to hit him on
do it.
defense? I don't know, Coach. Any of your guys?
Probably not.
I mean, he's put together, and he's, you know, I'm thinking, you know, upside. I'm thinking linebacker, all everything linebacker, and I'm thinking outside linebacker. He's that quick.
Yeah, he fits that kind of mold. You look at him and immediately you think, you know, a defensive player, and he kind of brings that mindset offensively to, you know, to the other guys. So really proud of him where he's come. And he's gotten better each year. And your offense coordinator, Coach Moore, puts a lot on him and asks him to, you know, check a lot of things within the ball game. And he does a good job. Does a good job with the film room and being prepared to go to practice every day.
At Brusly, you inherited a young kid, Grant Watts, at DB, who really brings the wood. I mean, he never sees a tackle he doesn't like. And even if he misses, he's knocking somebody down.
Yeah, you know, Grant's another one, same class as Nick, and Grant's a 3-year starter. 100 tackles each of his sophomore year, 100 tackles his junior year, and well on his way to that again this year. Last Friday night, he was 15 tackles, a fumble recovery, and an interception. Really having a good season, and a lot of that with him is the same type thing, just that kind of experience and the willingness to run around and stick your nose in there and be physical, and he's certainly that. But you know, not only that, he's also a great kid off the field. He's, you know, a high ACT kid, a high GPA kid, everything you ask, a baseball player as well. So, I mean, really, you know, if you had to draw one up, you know, that's kind of the guy you draw up to play free safety.
Yeah, and I think he could play 1AA football.
Oh, not a doubt.
And you have a kicker punter, I think that's a diamond in the rough. You know, when college recruiters go to games and they go for a quarter, you know, they always come on the sideline, they go hit another game. They don't watch that deep snapper, that punter, and that kicker as much. Because maybe that punter comes in and they've already left the game. He gets 2 punts, right? But you got a guy that can punt and kick. He's got some hang time and some distance.
Yeah, he does. Nathan Landry. And Nathan's another one. He's a senior. Hadn't played football when we got there. He was a soccer guy. And get him out, and he may be the hardest working guy we have. You can go out on a Saturday afternoon in August, and he's out there by himself, kicking balls time after time after time. And you know, Coach, you know, as kickers, they do things a little bit different. But Nathan is a guy. He's a weight room guy. He's in the weight room.
It's not the norm for a kicker.
It's not the norm for a kicker. He's in practice just like everybody else. He's running sprints just like everybody else. He's squatting and he's cleaning. He does everything that everybody else does. And I think it's awesome. You know, you trust him to go out there and do his job because you see him do all those things. And really started out more field goal kicking and then translated into the punting. And he's done a great job for us punting the football and kicking field goals. And really proud of where he's come.
I think, again, a good 1AA, maybe a D1 walk-on.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can hang time at 45 in the air.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You know, go to, you know, against Port Allen, against Ash, both games. I mean, he was key in the ball game. You know, him and both teams.
Does he have a younger brother you can clone?
We wish. We wish. Yeah.
And Coach, on your team, you got a leader, Hollins.
Yeah.
Who's your lineman? He's everything. OD line.
Yeah.
Everything but water boy.
He plays offensive line, defensive line. He's got a few small offers, Arkansas, Monticello, and a few other places. So, yeah, he's a very good kid, and he's a leader also.
Tough kid.
Tough kid.
Doesn't waste plays, plays hard.
You know, like I said, he doesn't come off the field.
You got a lot of gritty juniors.
Yeah, our junior class, those are the guys that have been with us in the program since we've been there. And like I said, we have 17 juniors.
That's a good problem to have.
So next year, it looks really bright. You know, we're playing a good little junior high JV schedule to keep the kids coming. But things are looking.
Convince some of those 8th graders to be part of that 9th grade class next year.
Well, in MSA, we have the Math Science Academy. It really helps the program also. You know, a lot of those kids that are playing for us go to the Math Science Academy.
Okay, we're going to talk more about East Iberville, where it's at. You know, people are confused. It's in St. Gabriel, Louisiana.
St. Gabriel,
it's not far from LSU. It's off of Nicholson Extension. You can get to it, and my family, my mom's side is from St. Gabriel, Louisiana. I don't know if you knew that, but I remember they didn't have anything in St. Gabriel up until about 3 years ago, maybe a gas station or two. But
it's about all they have.
We're gonna come back, talk more about Brusly with Coach and also East Iberville later in the show. We got our 2 Zachary recruits, Chris Hilton, one of the top junior receivers in the country, and Keilon Brown, who's committed to the University of Memphis as a quarterback. We'll be right back.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with your injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. Before I go back to the coaches, I want to mention that I was at a high school game Friday night. I went and saw Mandeville High School at Mandeville play Archbishop Hannon. That's a 3A against a 5A. Now, it's never even Steven, right, when it's 5A against 3A, and especially when it's a good 5A program. But you talk about see a lot of good football players. I saw a great kicker, a coach. They got a kicker named Caden Costa that kicks it 7 yards in the end zone every time. Kicked a 50-yarder, a 38-yarder, a 44-yarder, plays receiver, 4-5 receiver, senior kicker, big time, by the way, people. He could go big programs for kicking. And they got a DB that we're going to write about. He came from Texas, from Dallas, Texas. His mom and dad moved back to Louisiana, had been hurt his freshman, sophomore year, 6'3", 210 corner, returned 2 interceptions for 80 yards for touchdowns in the first half. I think he's better than Craig Stelz. This guy was all of 210, 6'3", and could read, react, and can run. And had about 8 knockout hits in the first half. It was the kid's 3rd game in his career, and he's a senior. Also the punt returner. So never give up if you're a kid. If you never played, don't let injuries, get to you and say, hey, I'm going to give up, because here's a kid who came back from 2 injuries. You would never thought he was ever hurt, and he's playing finally, and he's going to go to a D1 school in the end. And it's great about the stories of kids that don't give up and fight through it. I know y'all probably each have kids that maybe quit before and come back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We had several that's done that before, but me and Coach Schooler were talking about the players that Brusly's had, Norman LeJeune, Randall Gay, and Jerry and James, all those guys,
Reggie Williams.
Yeah, my first coaching job was at Brusly Middle, and I had all those guys.
You had them all.
I had them all, and it made me look good. I didn't know what I was doing.
Did you ever think that Randall Gay would be playing for the Saints one day?
No. I had Randall in 6th grade. I had Norman in 7th grade. By the way, Norman was dunking over people in 7th grade in basketball.
He was one of them
what kind of
wiry built
athlete that
kids.
guy was.
He was tall and always wiry.
Yeah, I mean, he long jumped 23-11 as a freshman in high school.
And Saban signed Randall at the last minute.
Yep.
It's crazy.
But those guys, they would get mad if they made a B. And they were phenomenal athletes, and that's what made them so good.
Determined. Hoff, what do you think about that, too?
You hear talking about Norman dunking. I just heard the story the other day about him dunking in the alumni student basketball game, over one of the coaches. So pretty good story right there.
Yeah.
All those guys are great guys. They're still involved in our program, whether it be youth, coaching our youth league kids, or involved on Friday nights, and we love them. They're great guys. You can see why they were good football players and why they were highly recruited and went on played in the NFL or Air Force Academy or wherever it may be. Really some good guys, and we're proud to have them be a part of the school, and our kids look up to them, and they should. They should.
And you know what's so important talking about before you get to high school, and here's 2 high school head coaches. You got to look at your guys coming up through, like you said, JV team, your freshman team, your junior high kids coming up. And that's very important to have coaches that go out there and coach those games. And some of your own coaches coach them all. And Hoff, what do you think of that with the younger kids? The time that the coaches put in to have to coach at all levels of the game for football.
Oh, sure. You know, and at schools, you know, smaller schools, you don't have the luxury of having a JV staff and a freshman staff, so on and so on. It's all the same guys washing the same clothes and driving buses and cutting grass and all. You know, we talk about coaching them when they're out there, but they're still got to have all those other things done. And it's still the same group of, you know, 5, 6 guys or however many you're lucky enough to have, and that you can scratch up some volunteers and some of those men that want to come out and give their time to help the kids in their community. And so we're grateful for the guys that come and give back. And we're lucky in some of the ones that we have coming and giving back. And it's not just Blue or Anatol or those guys. We have a lot of others that come and do their part so that we can be as good as we can be. You can do all you want with the older ones, but it's all about the younger ones and build them up and trying to stack those groups together.
And parents, if you're listening, go help these coaches.
Yeah.
You know, they need help doing the field, striping the field, cutting the grass, you know, concessions. I mean, without parents, you don't have a program. You know, you need their help. So, Hoff, talk about your time at Ruston High School and what did you learn at that legendary school that produced Fred Dean and Burt Jones and you know, Kyle Williams and Paul Lyons. I mean, we can go on and on.
Yeah, you know, 11 years at Ruston, and if I'm not mistaken, there's when John David went to the NFL, I think that made 28 NFL players.
It's amazing.
That have come through Ruston High School. My first 7 years were with Billy Laird, who Billy is a legend. He was the quarterback before Bradshaw at Woodlawn and at Tech.
Yeah.
And then went on and played with the Boston Patriots back then. So got to spend a lot of time with Coach Laird and really learned a lot about being a head football coach and how you run a program and how you manage kids and those kind of things. And then my last 4 years, Brad Laird, who's now the head coach at Northwestern State, Brad was the head coach. And really the way Brad took things to modernized the program, so to speak, and the way we went about running our day-to-day operations, different than his dad. His dad was old school. You know, you come in every day and the practice plan just said individual, group, and team. And that's what the practice plan said. And, you know, when Coach Laird got tired of practicing, that's when practice ended. You know, and then when Brad came in, just the attention to detail in every area changed it. You know, you spend time there, and it's a school that's the facilities are first class. You can't ask for anything better. And yet at the same time, you're in, you know, an over 100-year-old school building.
Public school.
Public school, yeah. You know, it's the only school that plays football in Lincoln Parish, you know, outside of Grambling Lab. And, you know, kind of sits, you talked about Minden and you talked about Halton, and then everything ends, and then you get to Ruston, and it ends again, and then you get to, you know, to West Monroe. So, but to be able to go out and compete on that level, you know, really not much different than the district we're in, the 3A district we're in here, the 5A district there, you know, is much the same every Friday night.
That prepared you for Brusly.
Prepares you for this. It's the same, you know, really the same formula there. You just bring it here, and you know, in a 3A school, and that's the way we go about practice. That's the way we go about game planning. That's the way we go about everything. Is the same way we did it there, and with some tweaks, obviously. You know, you got a few less kids. But, you know, we started out day one at Brusly and had 27, and now we run them 74, 75. So
that's a big jump. That's a big jump.
A huge jump. And then facilities that'll match Ruston's are coming. They're being built right now, and they're amazing. A $40 million school being built right on Highway 1. So we're proud of it. We're grateful for it, and look forward to moving into it.
Before I let you go, how do you like South Louisiana?
Love it. Love it. A little more laid back. A little more laid back in South Louisiana, you know, closer to family, so makes it a little easier during football season. But really, the culture down here, the group of coaches, in the area, the camaraderie amongst the coaches in the area really makes it fun on Friday nights. It makes it fun in the off season. Really, everybody is, open door, anything anybody can do to help each other out, and that's hard to come by.
And Ron, good luck with your team this year again. And
we thank you.
I know, and again, my condolences to Gary Burnett, and
good guy.
Great guy, and one of those coaches again, 73 years old, and he'll be missed. And y'all playing for him for this season. So,
oh yeah.
You got what, 7 games left after this weekend, or 6 games left?
Yeah, we got a bye. We were supposed to play the church week 5, and they closed the school. So.
That's good. You can heal up though.
Yeah. we are a little banged up
and
right
Coach,
now.
good luck to you Friday night.
Appreciate it.
And coming up, we got our Zachary recruits: Keilon Brown, 2-time state championship quarterback; Chris Hilton, receiver, only a junior. We'll be right back with those young men. We'll be right back.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV Magazine. I want to introduce 2 young men that were a part of together a play last year, actually, that won a state championship in 18, which Keilon, to my left, is the quarterback, Brown. You're only going to be, it seems like you're going to be a sophomore. It seems like you've been at Zachary for 10 years.
Yes, sir.
Because you started as a freshman.
Yeah.
That's not every day in 5A. To go in there, know the playbook, and be calm about it. And we got some highlights I want to show of Keilon Brown, and a little bit about him under center. We're going to get to Chris Hilton, but we want to show these highlights. In 3 years, he's been starting at 5A Zachary, but you're committed to Memphis. And why Memphis University?
Not only I play football, but I play baseball too, if anybody didn't know that.
I heard you got a great arm in outfield.
I do. And yeah, I'm going to play both sports there. And Coach Novell was cool about it. They was fine with it, and the baseball staff. And they just let me welcome in and play both. This
is the play here, right?
Yes, sir.
Down by, it's a minute left in the game. And your boy here, Hilton, who's got ice in his veins, he's calm as can be, takes this gently down, 80 yards?
80 yards, yeah.
To win the championship last year. Here's some more highlights. Is this Destrehan in the playoffs?
Destrehan.
What are you thinking when you play the next team? Every week it's a battle. Every week it's the who's who of 5A.
Every week it's just, you just start off 0-0 every week. You just focus on going undefeated that week.
Take it week by week.
Week by week, yep.
Y'all have played the toughest teams in Louisiana, out of state, in state, to start a season. One of the top teams in Florida, one of the top teams in Texas, and y'all beat the #2 team, Brandon, Mississippi.
Yes.
Friday. It was a much-needed win, I believe.
Right, it was a big win for us, actually.
And, I mean, they're basically almost #1 in Mississippi. They beat Starksville High School, which was ranked #1.
Right.
What was that confidence-wise for you being the quarterback? I mean, you don't want to go 0-3, 0-4.
Right. I mean, it was just a must-win game. I mean, you know, we just started 0-2. We just a little bit shaky, and you know, face through adversity, and you know, see how we overcome it as a young team. And that Friday night, we just never gave up, and we did good.
Keilon, you have a chance to help your program win 3 state championships this year.
Yes, sir.
It's never been done in 580. You know that in public school.
No, sir.
A quarterback.
Right.
The same quarterback. And then to your left, you got this great friend of yours, junior receiver, Chris Hilton, you got another year, but you've been out all year.
Yeah.
What is it like? It's got to be frustrating for you to watch right now, right?
I mean, it's hard, but I still got to train my teammates and help them with things, you know what I'm saying?
You're there with them.
Yeah.
Recruiting getting old? Or
I'm enjoying it while it lasts. I can say that.
Still enjoying it?
Yeah.
Any advice for Chris in recruiting? Because you went through it.
I mean, just go with the one that has the best offer, basically. I mean,
bird in the hand.
Yeah. And see which one takes you serious.
Well, Memphis is a good program.
It is.
They put up a lot of numbers. They run the spread. They can go power. And they beat Ole Miss this year. I think they beat Ole Miss more than Ole Miss has beaten them in 10 years.
I actually went to that game.
You went to it? What was that like? Because that was close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the atmosphere was great. I mean, everybody loved the team. I mean, they love their city. And that's what I like, just want to feel at home. And
they have about 12 kids on the team from Louisiana.
Yeah, DeMonte Coxey and Pop, well, he just got hurt with his knee, and all those people as well.
You trying to recruit your buddy to go over there?
Oh, he's not going to go over there.
Chris, when do you think you'll be back? You going to be back soon?
I should be back. I might get a few reps in next week.
Okay.
And then the game after that.
What do you like most about football? What do you like most about catching balls from this quarterback right here, Keilon Brown? What do you like most about being his receiver?
Whenever he throws the fade ball.
You like the fade?
Yeah.
What are you thinking in the state championship game? I mean, you're a sophomore.
Yeah.
You're not even a junior. There's a minute left on the clock. West Monroe's got this thing won. In the state championship game, you said you just blocked it out.
I was completely zoned out. And then when he threw the ball, I was just thinking to get the first down. Then it turned into more.
Turned into 80 yards.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take a break and then come back. We got one more segment with Keilon Brown and Chris Hilton. We'll be right back. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
This entire second half.
And now he can't handle the snap, but they get it off. And it's going to work out for Zachary. Big
big play coming up here. This is Chris Hilton. It's a foot race inside the 20. Touchdown, Zachary. Are you kidding me? 80 yards.
So that was the play. That was kind of like the catch, you know, with the 49ers that Clark made against the Cowboys. That was the high school Zachary, the catch, right, and the throw. These guys weren't even born when I was talking about that stuff with San Francisco. But Chris, when you come back, I know your team's going to welcome you back with open arms. They miss you. What's the goals of this team to get back to championship level football and get things turned around to get another championship one day?
That's mainly it.
You're a big, hard work guy.
Yeah.
How many routes and catches, balls, and all that you do daily when you're back?
Tons.
That's why you're successful.
Yeah.
You're not scared of hard work. And then Keilon, you know, this is not given stuff. You put in a lot of work too.
A lot of work. Yeah.
Tell everybody about the time involved away from practice that you put in throwing the ball.
Well, it all starts in the summertime with summer workouts at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, 707s, get the timing routes and stuff. And, you know, I have to work on my leadership and all that stuff, which is coming along handy. And, you know, just gelling more with the team and having a good relationship with the receivers, O-linemen, even the defensive players.
What's it like to have a great staff of all college guys that play college ball, like Johnny Nagel, Chris Carrier, Coach Hilton, your uncle, who's at Central, but it's also a good figure for you to have in your family. And then you got Garridale, who's been around forever. You've got Coach Brewerton that played with Warwick Dunn.
Right.
I mean, it's a who's who of guys that it's like one of the best staffs in the state.
Right, I mean, they know what they're doing. I mean, when the game plan goes down, like, they know what to do.
What's so amazing about the Zachary program, and I have no ties to Zachary, it's just from the outside in, y'all never really had a D1 running back. And you win 2 state titles without really a dominant running game, but you've had a bunch of really good running backs, guys that just don't get the notoriety.
Right.
You know, y'all don't have that 6'2", 220 running back. Y'all got a bunch of guys that believe, and a lot of you running backs aren't very big guys.
No, not at all.
That's amazing to get that done. I mean, y'all didn't have the John Emerys and the Leonard Fournettes and Darius Geises, and y'all make it work in that spread. And look, playing Scotlandville just in district and playing some of the teams y'all play, that's a tough district.
Right, yeah, it is.
Chris, who's your favorite team to play in district every year?
Scotlandville.
That's a good matchup. Speed for speed, size for size. Who else would you say, Keilon, is a tough matchup for Zachary in district?
I agree when I said Scotlandville too, because every time we play them, it's a good game.
Walker's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, all the different teams that y'all play. Destrehan, that was an amazing game last year.
It was.
What, over 100 points, scored 130 total? Was your arm tired after the game?
No. I mean, it was raining and it was cold, so I mean, you know, just cool them down a little bit.
So Coach is going to watch this show, Coach Brew. What would you like to tell your coaching staff about the season and the hard work for this year as being the leader of the team?
You know, punch him in the mouth first, the physicality, like he always preaches, and you know, keep the foot on the neck and don't let up.
Chris, any thoughts? Your coaches are going to be watching the show, so you're going to come back strong, huh?
Yeah. All I got to say is it's going to be a good season.
Make up for lost time?
Yeah.
What is the toughest thing to do, Keilon, in the playoffs? I mean, you've been through this twice. I mean, you've been starting since your freshman year in 5A ball. What is the toughest thing to do about winning on the road? I mean, it's hard to win on the road in the playoffs. Last year, y'all had to win on the road the whole time, like every game.
Every game. And I had to say is that that can't turn the ball on our offense, basically. You know, point the ball less, you know, be smart, and, you know, do all the assignments right, we'll turn out to be good.
What are the Memphis coaches telling you is about, can you go in and compete right away, or are they looking at redshirting you, or are they not saying anything?
All right. Me and Coach Johns, we have a good relationship. He said that the fall season, he's gonna get with me talking about the playbook and getting to know the offense well, getting in sync with the defensive coverages and checks and all that type of stuff to see that if I can handle it and I can come in, compete, and hopefully get a starting job.
Learn the offense first.
Right.
Like you did at Zachary right away. And Chris,
starting all over again.
Start all over again, but at least you got 5 years in college to do that.
Right.
Chris, what do you think you need to work on for college? You got another year of football after this in high school.
I would say my route running needs to be polished up just a little bit.
Tweak it a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe the fakes, your cuts.
Yeah.
Your ability to jump up, you win those battles.
Yeah.
What do you think of your guy here? I mean, he doesn't lose many balls up in the air.
Oh, no, not at all. The one in the dome, when I threw it up top, I just know he was going to go on top of the defender and catch it.
Looked like it was a 40-inch leap on that end zone catch, man.
Yeah.
You work on that? You work on your jumping
time.
and leaping?
Yeah.
Play some basketball?
Mm-hmm. And track.
Track, I heard you're pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you like in track the most?
High jump.
And tell everybody what's your best high jump.
7 feet.
Can you high jump 7 feet?
I can barely get off the ground.
7 feet is impressive, man. That's scholarship track material. Yeah. Do you want to do track and football in college?
That was the plan.
Okay. And what about your baseball? You got a shot to play baseball, like you said, in college.
Yeah.
Center field?
Right field.
I heard from a few people they've seen you throw the ball to home plate. Very impressed with your arm.
I could play anywhere in the outfield, honestly. I mean, left field, right field, center field, it don't matter. I just still run down and get it, throw somebody out at home.
Okay, teammates. Who we want to talk about? Some seniors. So throw some guys out that you want to talk about. Some of your boys.
Oh.
Offense. O-line.
Oh, Dylan Landry. That's my senior center. He's been doing good, working hard during the off season and in the weight room as well.
Anybody at running back you want to mention?
RJ. That's my running back. He fast, quick.
Chris, anybody on defense you want to mention? Anybody that's a leader coming back? Got a linebacker coming back that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just say the whole defense. We're going to protect you that way. So we won't leave anybody out. Guys, good luck to you. Y'all got an open date week this week. Heal up. Challenge for another title.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.